So what happens when you take an exceptional bivvy and make it even better? I'm pretty sure you end up with something along the lines of the Fox Frontier 2. Should we take a look? The original Fox Frontier took the carp fishing world by storm. It ticked an awful lot of boxes for an awful lot of anglers, and if you visit any busy day to get water across the country, you can practically see them rowed up swim by swim. That being said, it was the first iteration of that style of bivvy for the guys at Fox, and as you would already expect, progressions are made, advancements are made, and small subtle tweaks can take a product to the next level, and that brings us on to the Fox Frontier 2. Now, I've been using this bivvy for a good few nights now, and in all honesty, I think this could be the best bivvy on the market. Let's take a look at why. When purchasing a new bivvy these days, it can often feel like you're trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle without having all of the pieces. Perfect for those of you that say you will never ever use a ground sheet or never ever use a waterproof infill panel and then of course buy it at a later date. But what about the guys that just want everything in one box ready to go? Well, the Fox Frontier 2 is for you. It's got everything that you'd expect a full bivvy system to have and a little bit more. Firstly, we get a nice, tough and durable carry bag. This is just to protect the bivvy system in transport, whether it's to and from the lake or while it's on your barrow getting pushed around. The last thing that you want to do is damage your brand new bit of kit before you even get it set up. You'll also be pleased to know that it has been generously sized so that you can actually fit everything in the bag and do the zip up without having to wrestle it. Next up, of course, we have the bivvy itself, and in its packed up form, we've got dimensions of just 22 by 22 by 145 centimeters. So it's fair to say it's nice and compact. Now, this is the smallest out of the range. There are three in the range: the Frontier 2, the Frontier 2X, and the Frontier 2XL. So as I said, the Frontier 2 is the smallest in the range, but don't let that compact pack down size fool you. This is plenty big enough for 99% of anglers on 99% of their sessions. We also have a full waterproof zip-in front panel. Now, there are an awful lot of bivvies and brollies on the market that don't actually come with one of those, so it's nice to know that comes as standard. The centre section is an interchangeable panel, so you can either have a solid front as I have here on the bivvy now, you can have a clear window option, or you can have a camo mesh option. All of those once again are included as part of the parcel. Either side of the door you have got revealable camo mesh panels. Simply unzip the waterproof panels and roll them back into place. The door itself has been slightly widened over the original Frontier to give better visibility of the lake and just to make getting in and out that little bit easier. The heavy duty ground sheet is also part of the package. Now, through the warmer months I very rarely bother to use a ground sheet, but as we move into the winter and everything gets a little bit colder and a little bit more muddy, I think it can be a real advantage, helping to keep you more comfortable while you're out on the bank. It is also a massive benefit on trips over to Europe. You never know what creepy crawlies may be lurking in your swim. So to have a zipping ground sheet and to keep that risk down to an absolute minimum is, again, a massive, massive advantage. It's better to be safe than sorry. And not to mention, of course, the door entry flap, an ingenious little idea from the guys over at Fox that stops you dragging your muddy boots through the entirety of your bivvy. Simply fold the flap back into place and it gives you somewhere to put your muddy feet while you take your boots off. Again, it just helps keep everything that little bit more bearable, a little bit more comfortable through the colder months. There is also a pair of the newly designed quick release cam lock storm poles, a full set of high quality bivvy pegs and a full set of storm ropes in case the weather gets really serious while you're out on a session. Now, this is normally where the what's in the package segment would end on one of these videos. In fact, it's probably already dragged on a little bit because of the included front panel and the included ground sheet that you wouldn't normally get. However, one of the most purchased items either straight after a new bivvy purchase or at the same time as a new bivvy purchase is a skull cap or a vapor peak. Now, a 𝗲𝗶𝗃 is there. It's an additional layer that you put on top of your bivvy to give you an extra layer of thermal insulation. It helps to reduce condensation within the bivvy and just makes everything that little bit more comfortable. Well, the guys at Fox have noticed this and thought, well, hold on a minute, why don't we just include one in the package? So, as part of the package with the Frontier 2, you also get a very nice Fox 𝗲𝗶𝗃, which I think is an absolutely fantastic idea. Purchasing additional segments on bivvies can get really, really expensive. So it's nice to know that you pay one price, which we'll get onto later, and you get everything you could possibly need. When it comes to setting up one of these central hub style bivvies, I'm pretty sure we've all got a relatively good idea about how you'd actually go about that. That being said, there have always been some small annoyances, some little niggles that sort of made the process that much more faffy. Well, I think the guys at Fox have made some real improvements with the Frontier 2, and I think this system is now going to be very, very difficult to beat. Firstly, we just need to snap the legs into place, and to do this we use the aid of the brand new sprung-loaded keyed elbow joints. Now, these are designed in a way that not only do they allow for extremely fast setup and pack down, but once locked into place, they are super rigid. This bivvy frame is going absolutely nowhere. And these elbow joints have got ergonomically designed grips to make sure that they are comfortable to use, even in freezing cold temperatures. Next, we just need to fan that bivvy out. Now, the problem here arises if you don't get that initial fan of the legs wide enough, the material of the bivvy will continuously try to pull the bivvy closed again. The easy tension system stops that frame collapse. So as you pull the legs past that 180-degree point, the geared mechanism locks those legs into place and means basically you are no longer wrestling against the material. Simply pop the two outer front poles up and into place, and then as you locate the center one, just listen out for the click to know that everything is locked down solid. Then all you need to do is zip in your waterproof infill panel, zip on your heavy duty ground sheet should you want it, and locate your quick release cam lock storm poles. Chuck a couple of pegs in it and you're ready for anything the session may throw at you. When it comes to pack down, the new 𝗖𝗔𝗏𝗏 comes into play again, helping to keep everything super simple. Just push the release lever to disengage that front center arm, and then you'll be able to release the arms either side of it. Then simply lift the lever to release the geared mechanism that is holding those front legs in place. Once that's done, you can basically collapse the entire frame using one hand. One thing to mention here is that if you have tried to collapse the bivvy without disengaging that geared mechanism, you will have in fact locked the mechanism. Quite simply, jiggle the legs back forward so they're into their natural position, releasing any pressure off of that 𝗖𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏 system, and then disengage that geared mechanism and the bivvy will collapse exactly as it should. And then just grab the comfortable grip either side of the sprung load elbow joint, pull apart and fold the leg. Obviously do that for each of the legs, roll the bivvy up and pop it back in its bag. The Frontier 2 is quite a substantial upgrade over that original Frontier bivvy. That being said, anyone that used the original knows it was a cracking bit of kit. And because of that, some of the design features have been brought through from the original into the Frontier Mark II. So let's take a look at what's new and what was already perfect. Externally, we still have the fantastic Ventec material with the blackout laminate lining. With a waterproof rating of 20,000mm hydrostatic head, this bomb-proof but lightweight material is about as waterproof as anyone could ever need. We still have the same lightweight aluminium frame with the high flat back design, meaning you get the most out of the internal space. You can push your bed chair right to the back and you've still got plenty of headroom above you and plenty of room out in front of you for all of your kit. There are also still 3 different sizes available. You've got the Frontier 2, the Frontier 2X and the Frontier 2XL. And those sizes are still comparable to the original range, so nothing's changed in terms of size. Here we have got the Frontier 2. This is the smallest in the range and has a footprint of 250cm by 185cm by 130cm. And then the sizes go up from there. When it comes to weight, this entire package comes in at around 18 kilos, but you need to remember that although that sounds like quite a lot of weight, This is a massive package, and quite often you won't be taking the ground sheet. You might not want to take the front, you might not want to take the 𝗲𝗶𝗍𝗄. So you really can tailor the system to what you actually need for your sessions, meaning that quite often the weight you will actually be carrying is far less than that. The original Frontier only had 2 vent panels in the back. This time around on the Frontier 2, we've got a vent in every single panel of the bivvy. So you've got 2 additionals, 1 on either side, and then we've also got additional vents either side of the door as well. This means you have full 360-degree ventilation should you need it through the warmer months. You can open the vents or the mesh panels from either the inside or the outside of the bivvy, and when you do so, you'll notice that the camo panels actually undo in the opposite direction to the waterproof panels. It just helps to keep everything nice and simple. Another feature that has been pulled over from the original Frontier is the ventilation pegging points, meaning that you can pull out the waterproof panel, allowing airflow into your bivvy even on a rainy day. I briefly mentioned the included cam-lock storm poles. Well, these have actually been redesigned slightly and now incorporate a very handy quick release function. Just means setting up and pack down is that little bit quicker. Moving on to the inside of the bivvy, we have 4 very handy storage pockets, 2 at the front and 2 at the back. There is also a central hook, perfect for a bivvy light. Now the new additions for the Frontier 2 are the extra hooks, 1 either side of the door, which are fantastic for hanging things like receivers on, but my personal favourite is to hang a waterproof jacket on it. And when we combine these advancements with the new 𝗖𝗔𝗥𝗣𝗍𝗏, the sprung-loaded elbow joints, the zipping ground sheet, the widened door, and of course the 𝗲𝗶𝗍𝗶𝗍, I think it's safe to say that the Frontier 2 has set a new standard as to what's expected from a bivvy system. So something that was very important to the guys over at Fox is that when the Frontier 2 hit the market, everything was available for it, a full array of accessories, no hidden secrets. So you're not going to buy a bivvy and then all of a sudden it be released in camo and you'd rather have the camo one, but you've already spent your hard-earned money. It's just not going to happen. On the day of release, you will get 3 bivvy sizes and, as I say, a full array of accessories in both camo and the khaki. Now that leads us nicely on to all of the different accessories that are available. So first up, we have got the camo mozzie mesh. The Frontier 2 full camo mozzie mesh is exactly that. It is a full mozzie mesh panel for the front of your Frontier 2. It now incorporates a 2-way zip, so you can use it letterbox style should you wish to. Next up, we have the deluxe wrap. Now this actually extends your bivvy by around 60 centimeters. If you remove the front infill panel off of the front of your bivvy and then zip it to the front of the deluxe wrap, it will give you just about enough space to fit 2 bed chairs inside. It offers extra space and protection from any poor weather. It also has the 4 vents which line up perfectly with the 4 vents that run around the bivvy itself, so you still get that perfect airflow should you want it. It has storm pole attachments on the extending ribs, so you know everything is going to be super stable and secure. It's super simple to fit using the Velcro and D-loop system, and of course, as I mentioned, it is going to be available in both camo and khaki. Next up, we have the Frontier 2 Deluxe Extension. This behind me, as you can see, it is absolutely massive. It adds 1.5 meters worth of space out the front of your bivvy, so you have acres of room for all of your kit or a couple of bed chairs, you name it. This extension offers a full twin skin layer to the Frontier 2, so not only does it give you loads of extra space, but it gives you that extra thermal layer to help reduce condensation in the cooler months. Once again, we have 4 panels that run around the back of the extension and they line up perfectly with the bivvy's airflow systems. These panels are also removable, so you can go from a full wrap style extension down to almost like a cap style extension. Just helps to sort of reduce a bit of weight if you want to go light but still have everything that you need, including that extra room. The side and front panels are fully removable, as you can see here, or they are swappable with camo mesh panels. There is also a clear PVC window for that front panel and a solid waterproof infill. Along with that, you also get a heavy-duty ground sheet to cover the area which is now at the front of your Frontier 2. Once again, it is super simple as far as setup is concerned. Simply attach it to your Frontier 2 using that Velcro and D-loop system, and then you just have a couple of extending ribs that run across the top. Really quick, really easy, and if you need that extra space while out on a longer session, something like this really is a winner. And as if that wasn't already enough, the X and XL versions of the Frontier have the option of an inner capsule. Now this inner capsule doesn't actually come with a ground sheet fitted as standard, but the zipping ground sheet from your Frontier directly zips to it. Not only does this stop on doubling up on ground sheets and creating a load of extra bulk, but it really does give you that fully encapsulated feeling. So again, if you're off on trips over to Europe, you don't know what might find its way into your bivvy, so it's better to be safe than sorry. So there we have it, a massive amount of information about the new Fox Frontier 2 and some of the accessories to go with it. Now I'm sure I will have missed a couple of things, and if I have and it was a bit of information that you desperately needed, then do head over to the Fox website, because there's loads of info on there about this bivvy and all of the extras that they do, and of course the whole host of Fox items that are all fantastic, as most of you will probably know by now. Now obviously all of this does come at a cost, and that is what we're moving on to next. When it comes to purchasing a new bivvy and having to go through that jigsaw process where you have to buy a front infill panel for 150 quid and a ground sheet for another 90 quid and you name it, the prices really do add up. So the fact that Fox have managed to incorporate 99% of the extras that people are going to want within the packet for the price, I think is going to be a real winner. So the Fox Frontier 2 comes in at just $599 for the complete package, which I think is exceptional value for a very, very high quality bivvy. The deluxe wrap comes in at $249, and then if you want to go all out and get the deluxe extension, that comes in at $499. Overall, I think the Frontier 2 is a real step forward in bivvy design, and I think anyone that has one of these will be a lucky person indeed. I can't wait to get my hands on one for my fishing. Unfortunately, this one does have to go back to the guys at Fox, and well, I'm a little bit upset about that. For any more information, as I said, do head over to the Fox website. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and of course hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much.